and welcome to the LUV MEESH Podcast. I'm your host, Meesh, and it's a billion podcasts to listen to, and the universe guided you right here to this one. I've been podcasting for about 3 years now, so happy third birthday to me. I'm super excited to continue growing and sharing my journey with you. So welcome to my world. Welcome back to part 3 of the LUV MEESH episode, Grandmothers, Mothers, and Daughters. We just finished the Essence article review and the 2 different books that I was led to from that article. One was Batter and the other one was My Mother, My Friend. Now we're going to move over to the periodical article that actually did a study where they asked questions to Black mothers and Black daughters. And this is my heart, y'all. Wait till you hear what was in this particular article. And then once that's done, I want you to hear opinions from 2 different women, not just me, about mother-daughter relationships and about women and their role and the role they play in society with having kids and the way in which they have kids. Because I don't want you to just hear my perspective. There's other women out there that have different perspectives. Of course, there's probably a million different perspectives about this, but I always like to chime someone else in just to make it maybe it's the Libra in me, a well-balanced podcast. So I'm going to pause and let you hear. I already pre-recorded the article, and then when I come back, I'll ask you questions and see how you feel about the other 2 opinions. Now, this next article is from www.jstor.org. That's JSTOR.org. And of course, in the Essence magazine, they mentioned a periodical review, a study, and, we're able to build upon the article with that. So I took it upon myself to go look at the study because when I was in college, that's one thing that I admire. You can go to the library and get these books and learn knowledge, but I don't know if these periodicals are in the library. From what I understand, like even being in college, you would log in with your college username and password, and within the college website, you could click on, like my school was FSCJ and Liberty University. My colleges were Florida State College at Jacksonville and Liberty University. And so inside of those portals, you got to go to Blackboard and stuff like that. You could also search the school's library, and it wasn't necessarily books. It was a lot of articles and magazines and periodical reviews, and and I love that because you can tell someone, this is this, and if they're really intuitive and in their soul, they will know if this is true or not. Like they would just know. Women are gifted with intuition, and sometimes they just know. When you talk to your mom, sometimes she just knows. When she meet a guy, sometimes she just knows. It's that intuition. It guides you and it tells you right from wrong. But there are some people out there that they need a study. They need facts. They need numbers, and then they'll believe. Which is fine, because, if everyone was the same, what would this world be? So I love studies because I could say, in my personal mind, if society, and from my point of view, when my grandmother them was growing up, they planted a lot of food. They only really went to the doctor with emergency surgeries, maybe car accidents and pregnancies. It wasn't a lot of vaccinations, and my grandmother is about to turn 77. So in my mind, without even looking at the numbers or the stats, and this is before microwaves, like all of that stuff, me just looking at where I am today, what my grandmother had plus what I had, I can just put 2 and 2 together. My generation, we're sicker now. We're not as healthy. And within my mind, I'm saying, okay, we have microwaves. Nuking your food is taking out what little bit of nutrients is in there. Not working out, having this delivery stuff, which means we're not really getting out of the house. We're not exercising, being online all the time, which means we don't really like outside activities. Even my parents would stay outside all day. We would go outside a little bit, but what does that mean? My grandmother was doing. I'm pretty sure they were outside all the time. So just looking at those changes for me, I can just put together from my grandmother's upbringing. And of course, we've had those conversations. My mother's upbringing, of course, we've had those conversations in my upbringings. I can see, your generation did well there. Your generation did well there. My generation did well here. Yours like that. Yours like that. Yours. I'm able to do that just based on those conversations. But throwing the facts in there, you're able to convince other people, like, okay, so look at the facts. This is what they ate back then. This was their food, and this is their they're more healthier. They're able to live longer. This is your generation. These are the equipment that you use to eat, the appliances, the stoves, the microwave, all that stuff, the food, supply and demand, having to fill these animals up with steroids to beef them up so that you'll buy their product. I was about to go into a whole nother podcast, but that's one thing that college taught me. It taught me that there are studies being ran by top universities in the world, and instead of us hearing that on the 6 o'clock news, we don't. The people that are privy to that are the upcoming nurses and doctors, the people that had a chance to go to college, that they allowed them to peek into that information. Because if what I learned, I'm pretty sure there's so much more. I'm pretty sure what I learned was a tip of the iceberg. I'm sure it goes deeper than that. And I remember at my previous employer, IRS, one of my coworkers had cancer. And no one could understand why I was vegan. It's like, you don't think I miss chicken? You don't think I miss meat? You don't think I miss eating without fucking thinking, basically? But when I see these documentaries, what the hell? When I see these studies, it's like, how am I going to pretend like I didn't just read that meat is carcinogenous? Not only that, with my heart and my soul, if I continue to eat this way, what is that burden going to go on to? My husband, my kids, my family? Who's going to help me pay $20,000 for chemo? Who's going to help me wipe my ass and clean? Like, that's how my mind interpreted meat is carcinogenous. Not, okay, fuck it, I'm going to die anyway. Like, that's just not how I interpret things, which I appreciate, but I feel like I'm not understood, or I just don't understand the world around me. Like, did y'all just hear what I heard? But what she mentioned was, Jamisha, we had a chance to go to these universities. We had to write these papers. We had to pull these resources to support our point of view within these papers, and the rest of the world was not privy to that. So I say, I am so thankful that I was able to go to college. I've had a change of heart. I don't want to manage big corporation. I was about to say big pharma. I think it's big pharma. I think it's the government, the military, but I also think it's a workforce that I don't really hear people talk about. But the workforce is heavy too. Like, I don't want to manage the enemy. Like, I was working for the fucking enemy, and I woke up one day and was like, bitch, you're not as woke as you think you are. You work for the enemy. And I just cringed, because I remember one of my high school classmates was a police officer, and I was like, I would never be a police officer. Black Lives Matter, and you're working for the system and they're killing us. Back in the day, police officers had a license to hunt and kill niggas. And I was just so passionate, and I was right. I still feel that today. But it just hit me like, damn, girl, now you working for the other side. So while he around here catching slaves and killing them, where they bringing the money to? The government. And that's who you work for, the damn treasury. And when I realized that, I was like, oh my God, like, I have to get out of here. Like, it's great money, but it was stressful. It didn't match with my spirit, and it didn't match with my calling. I always knew that I was supposed to be a leader and a manager, but maybe it's to lead the conscious world. Maybe it's to lead the next generation. Maybe it has nothing to do with finances or money. So I had a change of heart. Like, I still know I'm supposed to manage and lead. My major was definitely leadership, and I loved everything about it. But it's not for the enemy, okay? I was on the wrong team. So I'm in a point now where I tore down the house and I'm rebuilding, from the ground up. So it's like, okay, I know what my passion is. I know what my calling is. Now let's start to build. And I woke up so early this morning and I had so many visions and ideas coming in my mind, and I wrote them down, and I was like, okay, God, you keep giving me all these ideas and all these visions. I need some clones. It's not enough hours in the day. Like, oh. And I said, you know what? Let me not complain. I just said, God, allow me the years and the time to birth each of these ideas. If it takes me 100 years to get through them all, great. But don't let my last breath leave my body without birthing all these ideas. And if you guys could see my phone, if you could see my OneNote, I'm about to get teary-eyed. It's so much that I want to do, and I get frustrated and angry sometimes because I have to work 8 hours here to get money to do this for this matrix. And it's like the matrix isn't even important. It's your soul, it's your growth, it's your consciousness. And I'm supposed to balance both. Like, I want to say, fuck the world, focus on spiritual, but you can't. Like, I would have to go live in the woods and be a fairy. But, just learning to balance emotions, because I'm a Cancer. And it's like, oh my God, get these Cancer ass emotions. And I don't know. I don't feel like I was a crybaby before, but this new era that I'm in, I'm crying over everything, and I hate it. And I was talking to my sister because she's a Scorpio, and she said, I know what you mean about hate. Like, I hate to cry. And I don't remember hating crying. I feel like I was always a Libra crybaby. But somewhere along the line, like, I just didn't want to do it anymore. And it's like so frustrating. Like, but whatever. I'm in the mood now where I'm getting it. But I appreciate my coworker. Let me reel it back in. I appreciate my coworker telling me, it's okay, Jamisha. Like, we were privy, we had to pay a pretty penny. You get your associates, your bachelors, your masters. God forbid the people that's doing their PhD, they getting coin, top dollar coin for you to learn that little bit of information that you do learn, but they're banking on you working for them. And then you can start to get in sororities and secret societies and work your way on up. Like, I stepped back and I saw the big picture. Like, education is the key. It is one key. And I always knew that was the key to get into the doors. But I was like, bitch, I don't want to go through that door. That's not a door I'm willing to go through. I'm not willing to sacrifice myself, my family, or my friends for money. Like, that's like being a snitch and telling on the people that's running away from the plantation. Like, I just had to construct her. But again, that's what it reminded me of when I saw this article. So let me reel it all the way back in. So www.jstore.org. The name of the article is A Qualitative Study of the Black Mother-Daughter Relationship. Lessons Learned About Self-Esteem, Coping, and Resilience by Joyce E. Everett, Laverne D. Marks, and Jean F. Clark Mitchell. I haven't read one of these in a long time, and it was a fresh of breath air. I am such a nerd. I love knowledge. I love reading. I love learning. But I think I'm in a point in my life where I don't know. Maybe I just accepted it. I don't know. Maybe sharing it brings me more joy because I've always learned. But I'm actually my podcast. But I'm actually putting it into, I'm learning it, but I'm also sharing it and allowing those seeds to fall on fertile ground for someone else to pick it up and, do whatever or let it grow into whatever else. And that brings me joy. So learning brings me personal joy, but sharing with someone else in hopes that it can help maybe just one person, that's another joy that I can't explain. So I know that this is going to bless someone, and it just brings me so much joy. So how many pages is this? It's a lot of pages, but I'm going to just, again, like I usually do, I'm just going to focus on what was good for me, or not good for me. I'm just going to, if you get a chance, click on the link and just read the whole thing, because I'm only going to focus on the sentences or paragraphs or points of view that stood out for me, and of course that relate to the podcast. So whenever you see a movie, a book, or anything, remember it's from that person's point of view. I have a point of view for this podcast. So with me not reading the whole thing, you could be missing some things. And you never want to do yourself a disservice of that. You want to read it all for yourself, see what was missing, and pick up other things. And of course, you want to be able to internalize your own point of view. Because what if you disagree with me? You only heard my point of view. It's probably very persuasive and you agree. But what if you read it and you disagree? So I'm learning that too. Get two sides, and then once you have all the information, then you decide. So the news is very one-sided. Books, movies, they're all one-sided. And I feel like that's, yeah, you got to get the other side. So that's where I'm at in life, with politics, with religion, with money, with everything. I'm learning that other side. I'm looking at the two and I'm deciding what works for me. That's where I'm at in my life. Okay, but we'll get to the article. So this is the abstract. The mother-daughter bond is a complex, diverse, lifelong, intimate connection that significantly affects development. While studies of intergenerational relations during old age have increased, as have those examining the mother-daughter relationship during adolescence, particularly those among Black and Latina households, only a few have examined adult-mother relationships among African Americans. Only a few studies have examined the influence Black mothers have on their daughters' development, using Black feminist thought as a theoretical model. This article reports findings from a quantitative study that explored Black adult daughters' perceptions of the image of their mothers that they had on their development, on their self-worth, self-esteem, resilience, coping strategies. 17 Black mothers and daughters described the lessons they learned and the forms in which these lessons were conveyed from their mothers. Implications of the findings for the further research are drawn. God, I miss school. Y'all, I am sitting on a house in student loans. I had to stop because I was like, whoa, who the fuck is going to pay for this? Because I don't. I didn't vote. Y'all know, I listened to my podcast. I have my point of view about that. I just pray for whoever's in charge. Let the angels and the Lord, do whatever I feel like it. Anyways, I don't even need to get into that. I have a podcast about it, but I don't vote. But since he's in there, he did say he was going to wipe away them student loans. Am I the only one that heard that? But my balance is still there. And they're going to be expecting a payment this month. So, Lord, I'm going to need to whisper that into the universe under this full moon. Because they be lying. Oh, anyway, stick to the podcast. Where was I going with that? Oh, so yeah, that's what I miss about school. If my student loans were not so high, I would love to get a PhD. What I would research now is consciousness, holistic spirituality. My doctorates would be in that realm. And who knows what the future holds. Y'all may hear me talk about assignments and blackboards and uploads and dissertations. Who knows what the future holds, but I miss this so much. Such a nerd. Like this just, okay. And I'm only gonna, because they interviewed those 17 people and they gave what they felt. And that's what I'm going to focus on. So that's what I'm going to do now. So Black feminist thought and the mother-daughter relationship. Black feminist thought consists of specialized knowledge created by African American women, which classifies a standpoint of and for Black women. In other words, Black feminist thought encompasses theatrical interpretations of Black women's reality by those who live in it. Okay, let me go to the next one. And the words are little. I need to magnify it. I don't know why I'm up here playing. Let me magnify so I can stop stammering. Did that make it better? Okay, let's see. It is actually misleading and dysfunctional to engage in a discussion of Black mothers and daughters patterned along lines of white theory writings, which focuses on specific psychological mechanisms operating, albeit between mothers and daughters, unless emphasis is added. The relevance of racial oppression and culture differences are considered a critical factor. I agree with that. You can take a white, whatever race, you can take all races of the world with the grandmother, the mother, and the daughter, and they're going to be different stories. The culture is different. The economics is different. The background is different. Some cultures have been free their whole lives. Some cultures have been enslaved for so long that the last generation is free. So their experience is going to be completely different from the foremothers. So I definitely agree with that. Let me go to the next one, and it's a couple pages, so y'all bear with me. I'm really just giving you. Okay, that didn't work. I gotta go back to the small. Gotta go back to the small letters, y'all. Sorry, it was hard to navigate that way. When I read this, I was like, oh my gosh. And I read another one about leaving your religion, specifically Christianity, and it was so good. And I want to do a podcast on that because I've never heard of that. When you leave your religion, that is a trauma. So let me tell you how it came about this. I originally wrote a book called Roses and Thorns about all my past sexual encounters. And then I changed it to from being more erotical to lessons that I learned. I forgive them. What did I learn? I wish them well. Then I changed it to trauma. So this book has been through so many revamps. It's fucking ridiculous. But I'm happy with where it is now. And when it's published, I'm okay with it. Like, the book has grown with me. Just put it that way. I did not know it was so many different forms of trauma. It's fucking ridiculous. And that's what's taking the book so long. I want to address the different traumas and how to heal, but I have to do the work first. So I'm actually doing it as I'm publishing it at the same time. So I'm only on one, y'all. I'm on generational. That's how this came about. Generational trauma. Okay? That's how this came about. And spirit, or where I'm at on my journey, I was focusing on African American. I was focusing on Native American. So African American, Black, Native American, Cherokee, and Egyptian. I told you guys on a previous podcast, I got some books about it. I was reading about it. I've been doing, creativity has just been coming to me. I've been doing collages on Pinterest. I've uploaded them. I've been doing jewelry. I've just been doing a lot of creative stuff. Hopono was a word that came to me, and it means, it's a prayer, and it means forgive me, I apologize, I love you, and thank you. And so what I'm doing as I'm going through this trauma is with each category, I'm saying, I apologize to my African, Native American, and Egyptian forefathers for what they went through. Forgive the people that, suppress them, oppression, and hate and killings and anger and just all the trauma that they went through. I love them so much because if they didn't go through what they went through, I wouldn't be here. And I thank them. And as I'm going through each one, God is bringing me more stuff. Like forgiveness was one. Giving thanks could be putting up an altar, or putting flowers on graves, or putting flowers in the ocean. And, there's just so many ways that you can creatively apply. I apologize. Forgive them. I love you. Thank you. There's just so many ways you can do that. And I started out in written form because, of course, I'm writing a book. And then I started doing arts and crafts to match what I was doing. So there was the collages, and then the books I was buying. And with me just opening that door, I have found spiritual advisors in the African community, which I don't think I ever would have found that key without going down this journey. I have found spiritual advisors through the Cherokee or Native line. And all of this is on YouTube for free, y'all. They're just coming to me now that I've searched those things, like African American, Native, Egyptian, and I'm just getting more things are coming to me. So as I'm trying to write the book, more is coming, and it's like, but I'm enjoying it because once I give birth to this book, I know it's going to heal the world. So I'm excited for myself, number one. Who knew that I would be reaching out to my African ancestors? Who knew I would be reaching out to my Cherokee ancestors and, going through Egyptian, just going deeper into the path that I'm already on. I just saved some eggshells so that I can mix them with flour and different essential oils and make my, I think it's called Sriracha, where you grind it all up and you put it on your forehead, on your palms, on your feet to protect you as you say your prayers, as you do your altar work against the bad spirits that may try to jump on you and absorb your energy. So I'm excited to I knew this stuff a while ago. I just never see how things are coming together. I knew about the eggshells forever. And I had an altar forever, but look, now instead of it being my immediate family, I'm bringing in my African family. I'm bringing in my Native American family. I'm bringing in guys and goddesses from the Egyptian pantheon. So on this journey, let me just say this before I get back to the article. On this journey, you cannot mess up. That's just the biggest lie in the world. Everything that happens is because of the choices that you make, and the choices that you make take you down different doors. And those are the doors that you want to experience. You want to experience motherhood, you go down that road. You want to experience marriage, you want to, everything, all the choices that you make take you down the paths of the life that you want. So don't think that you're going to mess up, even if you think you are. You're not. The same way Siri can get you from point A to B a million ways, that's literally life. You're going to get to your destination in a million different ways to get there. Some could be easy, some could be hard, yada, yada. I remember I was talking to my sister about this, but I have to stay focused. I just be so excited about everything. So getting back to the, let me wrap it up. That's why I'm on this path now, and I was able to, so since I've been on that trauma journey, one of the things that's been coming to me now is mom. And I'm glad that I've able to hear my grandmother's story, to hear my mother's story, to interpret my story, to understand why my grandmother made her choices, to understand why my mother made her parenting choices, to understand why I rebelled, and in my adult mind to understand, that's where she was coming from. It would have been great to know it back then, but I can understand now. And just the biggest blessing for me with healing my generational trauma is I am able to have compassion and love for my grandmother, compassion and love for my mother, compassion and love for myself. But to take the good things that my grandmother did and apply them to my lineage, the great things that my mother did and apply them to my lineage, and the things that they didn't know to do, and make sure that I'm able to do them in my lineage. And it should be that way. It should get better with each generation. So it helps me to look back. It helps me to heal the different traumas in my life to see they didn't know X, Y, Z, and that's why it wasn't told to me, period. as easy as that may sound. But growing up, it didn't seem that way. It just seemed like, you're keeping everything from me. But I get, just hearing those different stories, it's been healing for me, just put it that way. And I would love to give that key to all the women in the world, but whoever listens to the podcast, whoever gets it, they're going to get it. It is an amazing key to heal the generational trauma. And that's just one of the generational traumas I have, because I feel trauma from slavery. I feel trauma from other things too, but this was just one of the generational traumas that I was tapping into. So that's how I got, so now different articles were coming to me about mom, different podcasts were coming to me about mom. I just want to give you a backstory of, I hear things 3 times. I'm like, okay, Lord, I hear you. So this was one of them. So this was research question number 1. How do African American mothers and daughters describe their mother-daughter relationship? 2, how do African American daughters perceive their mother's influences on the development of their self-worth, self-esteem, resilience, and coping strategies? So now I'm going to get into the nitty-gritty. These are their answers, okay? 9 of 17 participants describe the relationship with their mothers as good or excellent, very close, the best or great, healthy, supportive, or my best friend. The remaining 8 use terms such as cautious, disappointing, dismal, horrible, bittersweet, or troublesome. For some, the quality of the relationship was altered by their actions as a child. For others, the mother's actions as a caretaker versus a nurturer, or the influence of a divorced dad, shaped the relationship. For example, one respondent said, I was one of the little girls who didn't listen, so I guess a little troublesome. I didn't listen very much, so yeah, we had a little bit of a rocky relationship. Now, I'm going to touch on that a little bit. I don't know. I can't speak for my mom, but from my point of view, I've always had a free spirit, rebel spirit. Like, just because this is how things were always done, it doesn't mean that I want to do them. I just was in maybe the times for my generation, we just kind of did what we wanted to do. We didn't want to wear stockings to skirt. Like, just think about it. My grandmother wore stockings to shirt and hats and white gloves. It got a little bit more lax with my parents. They just wore skirts and blouses, and they still had the stockings. These stockings are itchy. I don't want to wear them. Why do I have to wear a dress? Why can't I wear pants like the guys? Just my generation, we were more, or maybe me, rebellious, and it was just like, why? Like, I don't want to do what everyone else is doing. I want to be my own individual. I want to do my own things. I'll hear you out, but let me just go out and, learn for myself. That's kind of me. So I kind of felt with her about being a little troublesome. I do feel like my mom was like, God, I feel like maybe my mom was disappointed in me because I'm not like her at all. And I do feel like everybody wants a little mini me. Like, I would love for my child to love consciousness and to love science and to love all this stuff. But as I'm learning with my nieces and nephews and different children in my life, they may not enjoy the same things as you. No matter how much you want them to experience or know it, they have their own path and journey. And shame on you if you force them to be anything outside of themselves. I've learned, and I'm not even a mom yet, that your job as a parent is just to guide that child, not to lay out a path for them, but to just guide them the same way God does. He doesn't tell us you're going to go to earth and be an artist. He lets you do what you do, and he just guides you. Okay, so I thought that was interesting. Let me go to the next one. There's a lot in between, so please go and read it. So the next one says, this is self-esteem. All of the respondents were asked to describe the messages their mothers gave them about their self-worth while they were growing up, the transitions of self-esteem into intergenerational. As one participant noted, a lot of the messages came from the grandmother. Participants identified several common themes in the messages that they received from their mothers about self-esteem. For example, to feel her worth and value herself and her capacity were fairly common themes women remembered hearing from their mothers. Several women recall being another message. So here's another one. The one good thing I can recall about my mom is that she told me that I was just as good as anybody else. And that's something I have always held to my heart, and that I can be anything that I want to be. I'm going to continue. Similarly, another woman said her mother taught her me to feel good about myself and that I was good enough to be anything. And she said she taught me to value myself as a person. Thinking positively about oneself was another common thing, as illustrated by these remarks. She was good about teaching me to think positive about myself, regardless of whether I'm 100 pounds or 300 pounds, to always remember that empowerment comes from within. It's not what people see. It's the knowledge that you actually hold within. I love that one. Let me go to the next page. While another one said, I thank God the most important thing my mother gave me was a sense of self-worth and to make sure you are okay with being yourself. Mothers recognize the importance of teaching their daughters to be comfortable with themselves, to acknowledge their inner strength of the daughters, and that they should draw from that strength. To be comfortable with oneself as a Black daughter means thinking positively about one's race. What some Black mothers taught their daughters about being Black was summed up by one participant, and this is that participant. Be proud of who I am. Don't let anyone disrespect me, and just hold my head high. And don't ever let anyone bring me down or make me feel bad about being an African American. However, not all respondents received positive self-esteem messages. One respondent remembered that her mother, this is the respondent, made me feel different, making me feel isolated. I had a younger sister and I noticed she was different from me. She seemed to be happy and I didn't understand that. Why is she so happy with her? She hugs her, she kisses her, she touches her. She doesn't hug me, she doesn't touch me. She really stopped acknowledging me. I felt so sad when I read that. And I was like, I'm going to do a podcast on this. But I want it to be positive. I wanted to be good things in it. I didn't want to bash the mothers because, God darn, it's hard not being a mother. I can only imagine the extra weight and pressures once that title is given. And what I wanted this podcast to show is that therapy wasn't around back then. All of the who knows if they had a freaking library card? Was it colored library and white library? They weren't in school reading these periodical studies like me. I can go on YouTube right now and look at a therapist giving a free fucking therapy session. When they charge $100 to $300 an hour, I can go on YouTube and get it for free and go get books, whether I buy them or from the library. And just self-development is an all-time high. Healing, self-development, love, and growth, like that's what my generation was blessed with. We would not have these jewels if it had not been from the trauma and oppressions from our parents, from the trauma and oppressions from our great-great-parents. So we owe them for getting through that BS for us. It's like they cleared out all the shit so that our flowers could bloom. So sometimes you got to call a spade, but let's not forget that love and compassion, because without them, it wouldn't be us. And to be honest, I was talking to my grandmother and I was like, y'all was strong, because I don't think I would have survived. You mean to tell me I can't go into the first round because I'm black? My mom mentioned they used to throw eggs at them going to school. That would have told me up. Why are you throwing eggs at me? I mean, do I go home and change? Do I just walk around school with eggs? Like, I don't even know how I would feel. The only close experience I have to that is me and my homegirls went to, was it Palm Beach? I think it was Palm Beach for spring break. And we saw a white man give the cashier a key because he just finished fucking using the bathroom. And we asked if we could use the bathroom with a basket full of fucking food and pots and pans and shit, because we got this beautiful ass Airbnb that we needed to, have food and shit. And she was like, it's out of order. It's not working. No. And we like, the fuck? This nigga just gave you, and I have felt, I can't even describe what it was. It was like, you lied to me. This is racist. What the fuck? Like, so many emotions. Anger. And the person behind us was like, here's a card. You can report them, So here I am in Jacksonville, where I think the closest I've got to racism was in high school. You had the rednecks or country party. They always had their Confederate flag and their boots and their hats and all, listen to their country music and shit. But I've never heard them say nigga or anything like that to me. So it's like, okay, they have their pride. Okay, I have my black pride, African pride, fine. So I guess in Palm Beach, across the water, they ain't got the memo that bitches, it wasn't even 2022 back then. This was years ago. But bitch, we in the 20s. The fuck is going on here? So to just know that my grandmother actually lived that my great-great-grandmother probably was forced to have. I always have to bring my energy and my passion down, because God, it'll probably go into another podcast. But there was a point in time where when a slave, let's not forget, we were kings and queens at one point, snatched from, uprooted, and brought across the water, and shackles on us like fucking cattle. Different food, different weather, different culture. What the fuck are their mom and dad probably gone, sisters probably gone. Like, what the fuck? Like, broken the fuck down. And then you're told, Big Tom is strong. We need you to mate with him. You're probably 12, 10, 14 years old. Who knows? And by the time you get in your 30s, you probably have fucking 15 kids. Most slaves had 15 damn kids. And they love those kids so much. If they didn't get separated or whatever. And even if they did, like, it was a village, it was community, because they all were forced to do the same thing and they loved each other. Like, yeah, you're going to love each other because we're all mixing. You probably got 5 baby daddies here by force. And when I look at society now, you got 5 baby daddies by choice. You're doing the slave masters, because we still are enslaved, unfortunately. You're doing them a service today by continuing to breed without them telling you to. Like, we're not supposed to breed in that manner. Being told you're going to breed with Big Joe and having those kids is a different love, a different frequency from growing, developing, being healed, finding your soulmate, and having a conscious, loving soul come here. Those are 2 different beings being born. Those are 2 different frequencies being brought on this earth. And they're either going to uplift the earth or bring more turmoil and pain until they get together or whatever. But anyways, let me bring it back in. I was telling my grandmother that she's strong, because I don't think I would have survived that. You want me to sleep with who? or, my mom and dad are outside and you're just going to rape me and nobody's going to do anything about it. Or if I try to run away, I'm going to get hung, or they're throwing eggs at me. I think we're weak in that essence, but we are strong. My generation is strong mentally. And I know if you grew up on different sides of towns, the story might be different. Trust me, I get it. I feel like we are mentally and emotionally stronger now, but they were physically tougher. They knew how to grow food and make clothes and different stuff like that. So the strengths and weaknesses have changed. I don't want to say better or worse, because life is going to do what it's supposed to do. It's going to end up where it's supposed to end. But I do think you need to remember your past, because it's going to bring you to your future. So we do need to learn how to make clothes again. We do need to go back and start growing our food again. And, we do need to start getting married and having wholesome families again. Like, you can learn something from each generation to get better, instead of just saying, no, we're a new generation, we're going to do all things new. So that's what I can say with that. Like, we need to bring with us what great-grandmother did, what grandmother did, what mama did. Bring those good things forward, because I feel like we dropped them the fuck off. But that made me sad when I read that, like, there was rivalry. So what did that look like for her and her sister? I'm not going to talk to you because mama love you more. And why did mom feel like that? Because she loved one daughter more, or one daughter act like her? Or was she raped by was the first daughter a product of rape? And so she's trying to bond. She had the baby, so kudos, because, everybody has a choice, but you could abort in a situation like that, where you can do whatever you want to do. It's your body. But most women would abort. Like, they wouldn't want to look at their rapist every day, because I'm sure that child looks just like. But even though it's a part of you, what if the child looks more so like, your rapist? So who knows what was the trauma there? Why there was a disconnect with the first child and the second? Not only that, the daughter was smart enough to pick up on it. How that's going to affect her. She's going to walk around feeling unloved, probably get in relationships that she shouldn't be in, searching for that missing love that's supposed to come from the mother, right? And what is that going to do to her sister? Her little sister may not look out for her. She may not have that bond, because mom does lean more towards me and not you. And now my older sister doesn't like me, so she's going to be missing out on the big sister protection and knowledge. And then what came from the mother? Like, she didn't even know to grow and heal and to raise her daughters to love each other and to give them the same love, or the love that they need, because we're all different. That could have broke so many cycles there. But anyway, this just broke my heart when I read that, because of what mom did to her daughter. What happened to mom affected her daughter, and it's just gonna keep going until somebody breaks it. So let me go to the next one. So the next category is coping. Through their efforts to coach, model, and create supportive, cohesive, and structured family environments, mothers convey a variety of coping behaviors that their daughters emulate. The messages and lessons Black daughters receive from their mothers somewhat come in the form of, such as the one described by one particular participant. Her mother, showed me what it was to be a strong African American woman, and not rely on the resources of what the world offers. And other times, the mothers use themselves as to model what and how to do things. For example, one daughter explained, "My mother always has been the role model. I watched her with, food preparation, with her appearance, her dressing." While another respondent, reflecting on who and what she learned about coping from her mother, said, "You never have to actually learn. You never have these actually learned, like A through Z lessons on how to cope with your life. You go through it. If you watch your aunts, you watch your sisters, like you just learn through other people's example." Another respondent said, "I get a lot of my lessons through her stories, her life experience. So she uses stories, or if she come across a resource like a book or a financial advisor, she'll share that information with me." Exactly what did these daughters learn from their mothers about coping and perseverance, faith, love, honesty, loyalty, and survival? Were lessons one participant acknowledged. Another participant said, I would say, speaking up for myself, she would laugh to hear me say that. Yeah, I would say, speaking up for myself, my mom was a big advocate for people. Like, even if it meant going to school with someone to talk about something. So I learned how to speak up and voice myself in the community and working hard. She was very, very hardworking person. So I learned work ethics from my mom. Still, another respondent spoke about the messages that her mother gave her about being an African American woman. Remember who you are, not allowing others to change you, being proud of the color of your skin, your heritage, and never trying to switch up to satisfy others. Standing up to the bully is fairly common problem mothers encounter while raising their children. Black kids often don't have to be afraid if their mothers Black kids often don't have to be afraid if their mothers find out that they were fighting, but were sometimes told in a stern manner that they had better fight back. If somebody picked on them, that they would get it when they get home. They didn't want their children to get a reputation of being soft, not standing up for themselves. One daughter, speaking as a mother, described how she made her daughter cope with being picked on. The only problem I had, this is the respondent, I had to make her fight. That's the only problem. Other than that, she was a good child growing up. There was a child, we had this neighbor who used to pick at her all the time. So once she beat her up, they became best friends. She fought back. And after she fought back, I had no more problems with nobody bothering her. And that was very common growing up. I remember my mother saying that her sisters went to the bus stop to, she had to, grandma needed her to fight that person or, something along those lines. And then even me growing up, I would hear, don't let nobody hit you, stuff like that. So that I do actually hear that coming down. So obviously my grandmother heard it. She taught it to her daughters. And even still me being third generations, I heard of it too. So I'm going to continue. Presenting their daughters with the ultimatum like fight the bully or get punished. Mothers are sending a dual message about coping as well as resilience, as implied by the mother saying, I had no more problems with anybody bothering her. In other words, the fighting the neighborhood bully, her daughter gained the capacity to continue forward and to face adversity, which is also noted above a hallmark of resilience. The next section is resilience. To demonstrate resilience, people must be faced with risk, which seldomly occur in isolation after a stressful event. Describing what she thought her mother taught her about resilience, one participant said, the lessons I learned, I kind of used it. Instead of using it as a failure point in life, I used it as a stepping stone in life. I looked at how my mom did things and where it landed her in life. And then I took all those, what looks like failures, and I built from it. That was beautiful to me. And that's basically what I want this podcast to sum up to be. And I'm going to have some other people speak on it too, because they are people too. They have their own life issues too. And in the midst of that, you were thrown in the mix. So they're juggling trauma from their parents. They're juggling themselves. They're juggling their mate. They're juggling you. And God forbid, whatever else, racism, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, give them some grace. Give them some compassion. Give them some leeway. Like, they fucking tried. So that's what I'm getting from this. They love with what they had. And guess what? God is going to send you the other love that you need. Whether it's from a mate, a job, a person that's like a mother, a child itself. It's going to come from you. Like, sometimes we expect everything from one source. You may get one thing from 10 sources and just be happy that you're getting it. Some people do get everything wrapped up in a pretty bow like a mom. And others have so many different things that come together. For me personally, my older sister was like a little mom. I will never take credit away from my mom because she definitely did her damn job. And I don't see a lot of moms doing what my mom did. I mean, making our church clothes, our house stayed clean, dinner. She pushed my dad to be the best always. She does that for us too. Like, I can say so many amazing things about my mom. And when I look at my grandmother, I'm like, where did you get that from? Because grandma didn't know this. So it's like she, like the girl said, she took what grandmother had or didn't have, flipped it like alchemist, like magic, and boom. And I want to do that times 10. You hear me? I do think that my grandmother loves to learn. She just went down a Christian road. She has so many Bibles and they are written up to the T. She can quote a scripture right now and tell you the chapter, the verse, down to the T in all different translations. That's my grandmother, right? My mom took a learning. She still kept the Christian, but she went deeper. She learned about being a wife. She learned about herself. She learned about being a great mom. She learned about gardens, and she just took her knowledge that route. And then me, I still held on to the Christianity. I'm going to take all the tokens from my mom as a wife, mother, and all that other stuff, which is great. I'm so glad I have my mom. Like, I don't think a lot of people have a blueprint of being a fucking mom. When I see women, I'm like, you guys are just breeders. I hate to say it. You just had a fucking baby. That does not make you a mom. And yes, you love them, but a child needs more than love. Number one, did you pick the right man? But I'm going to let somebody else say that because I try not to speak on being a mom because I'm not a mom. And the quote is very true. You don't really know about a situation unless you're in their shoes. And I commend every woman that had her baby outside of marriage or whatever, because you have a choice to have it or kill it. I'm just going to call a spade a spade. So if you had it, regardless of the situation, I will always give kudos to you. And that child is gonna give you all the lessons and love and etc. that you need to build you. So again, like I always say, you can't make a wrong choice, so to speak, because it's gonna do something. But remember, it can always do something greater, right? So where was I going with this? Bring back. I've been drinking water and I've been peeing like crazy. Where was I going with this, Spirit? Please bring it back. Oh, I'm going to let you guys hear another podcast on a mom actually saying that same thing. So it's and I usually be like, am I the only way to think this way? Not wanting to hurt anyone's feelings, but I guess we all are going to make mistakes based on our lineage. Let's just put it that way. My grandma, who had 6 kids, she did get married. But I don't think it was the best man. I'm going to just call a spade a spade. My mother got married to a phenomenal man, whether he's made mistakes or not. He's killed the dad role from my experience, and he's killed the husband role from my experience. Now, what has happened behind closed doors, I don't ever know. But from what I saw and what I expect, or even better in my life, I commend both of them for that. Right? So why would I... 3 generations, grandma, mom, me. Why would I not want to have a successful marriage? Why would I want to have babies without a man? Why would I? So maybe my perspective, maybe my viewpoint is different just because of what my grandmother did, what my mother did, and now it's me. I cannot force that on anybody else. What if you are the generation of my mom? What if you are the generation that's going to pick a good man and to show the kids how to be a good man, and then that next generation will be a me? You get what I'm saying? Or what if you're the first generation where you're like my grandmother and the guys weren't no good, but you was going to love them babies to death. You know what I mean? So I try not to say it just because my life is my life and my experiences are my experiences and none of them are the same. But that's just so that you know why I'm making the choices that I make. There's no way my grandmother lived one example and I not learn from that example. Like, there's no fucking way. And the same for my mom. So I feel like I'm really, really hard on myself. And I know that's why I don't have a kid now. Although I date and different stuff like that, my body, my ovaries, my womb was like, bitch, he is not the one. Ain't no way in hell. So I realize that my mind, does things. My emotions does another. My body is down here doing another. Spirit is doing another. And if they all aren't aligned, that baby's not coming through. So I know that that's a strong view that I have. So I can't sit here and say, I don't have, I wonder why I don't have kids. I know why. I literally get it. It's just getting my emotions to understand that and to aligning my life up completely, aligning my chakras so that can come into fruition. But let me move on. I love how she says she learned. And as long as you're learning, that's all that matters. So no matter what type of mother you are, if you learn, baby, that's all you were supposed to do. learn, do better, teach the next generation better, and move on. And then, although I saw my mom do great, I'm African American. The white race been seeing that. So they probably 100 generations deep, 400 generations deep of seeing a man provide, be a wife, be a mom, having nannies and all that shit. So, of course, their experiences are even going to be probably better than from what I saw. So, okay, so the next one says, some of the participants were psychologically healthy despite the lack of positive role models by growing up developed by resilience, and not out of some positive, but due to something negative. So this was another participant. I learned a lot of things that I didn't want to do as a person, and all of the things that I was going to prove you wrong. So that's really what I took away from it. I'm going to show you. I'm going to get pregnant. I'm going to show you I'm not going to go on drugs. I'm going to finish high school, and I'm going to accomplish all of these things. And if you do that, you're great. That's literally it. Learning, growing, and doing better. That's it. It just looks different for everybody. But growth is the goal. If you focus on different paths, it's not going to make sense. But if you see the growth in each one, that's the connection. So the next section is discussions. Black feminist perspectives recognize the various forms of oppression. It also acknowledges the agency of Black women to define their own lives. This study was based on self-reports of daughters and not an actual observation of the mother's influences on the daughter's behaviors and attitudes. Let me get to the... this is the end. Let me see if I can summarize it. It was no more opinions. So let's see. Declaration of conflicting interests. The authors declare no potential conflicts of interest. Oh, no, that wasn't it. That's conflict in funding. What they mentioned in the end of the article is that they wish they would have had more of the mother's voice, because this was more of the daughter, from the daughter's point of view. But these are some questions that I want to pose, and I'm going to get out of here. One area for future research is that of discerning the role of other mothers as collaborators in the development of Black daughters. I agree, because I'm an auntie. And I remember my aunts growing up. I remember the roles they played, the advice that we gave outside of mom. I remember my sister. I remember my friends, It takes a village. It literally does. And it never stops. My grandmother is 77 and she has a village. It just happens to be her kids. Like, we cannot do this thing alone. You're going to be connected with some type of community. That's just how God has it set up. The next one is, who are the other mothers? What are their contributions to the development of the daughters? How do they contribute? Let's see. The importance of culturally sensitive and empowered research about and by African Americans is reflected in the findings that rejects the myth of the Black matriarch. These findings recognize the protective quality of the extended family and other mothers, and affirm the positive impact of Black mothers on the resilience, coping strategies, and self-esteem of their daughters. I am so glad I was able to read that. I wonder if someone takes this... Let me see what year this was published. 1 second. These are the references. Let me go back to the beginning. Journal of Black Studies. Journal. I'm going back to the beginning. Self-esteem. Where's the date? 2016? 2016. Okay. A fairly new study. I wonder if they were to do the same study in 2020, what would the results be? I just wonder. And there is an amazing YouTube page called Cut. I like Cut because it'll be a random... They've done things from kids, teenagers, adults. Of course, I look at all categories, but I started with the adults. And it ranges from sex to relationships to marriage to smoke. Who could smoke the longest, weed the longest, and just anything you can think of. But they'll get 100 random people, ask them the same question, and then they chop and mix it up, and it's beautiful. They put all the people that answered the same together, and and you're able to look at the video that way instead of looking at one person all the way through. They chop it up beautifully, and I love it because I know Jamisha. I know my life. I know my point of view. I know my family, maybe my friends. That's a small community. But to expand that, to people that you may not connect with, people that you may not want to hear, it's beautiful. One of the questions was, are you a virgin? And it was so many different answers. So many different answers. What is your religion? How many sexual partners have you had? The questions are so random, and I love it. I love, we all have a story. I guess that's what I'm getting to say. We all have a story, but we don't take time to listen or realize or have compassion for those different stories. And so I'm hoping that's what this podcast will do, is to say, these are the stories of moms. They're, things that they did great or did bad, but this is what we can learn from it. And hopefully this is what we can do better in the future.
Tell me that my granny's back in the fucking hospital. Like, come on now. Be for real. Why she tell me your mom has been in the hospital too? And I'm like, why didn't nobody tell me? Like, nobody has told me a lick of fucking nothing. Flabbergasted. So let me just give you a little dynamic. My mom and my granny, her mom, they don't talk. They haven't spoke, like they don't talk. Well, my mama, I guess she done had a fucking epiphany while she was on the fucking hospital deathbed. Where she called my granny and she tell her that she love her and stuff like that. And I'm just like, yes, Jesus, hallelujah! Thank you, fucking God. Let me show you. So I've been doing shadow work. And there was this question that has just had me like really stumped. Really stumped and sad as fuck for weeks. So on the 19th, I wrote, have I lowered my expectations of what God can do in my life? And when I thought about it, the first thing that came to my mind is my relationship with my mom, right? So that's literally what I wrote. God has just blew my motherfucking mind, because I honestly would have never thought that my mama would really find it in her heart to even begin to try to heal what is causing us to not even be able to get anywhere. And this morning I reposted a post and it was like, dear mom, please love yourself because you can't love me while you treat yourself so miserably. And I just be thinking that even today when I was in the shower, I was just thinking, and I was kind of getting emotional because I was like, I really want to text my mama and just tell her my life is fucking sad. Me and my mama haven't talked this whole year. January, mama cut me off. She cut my phone service. I had to get a new phone number, bitch. That's why I got 2 phones. Literally, it's so much that happened that I've mentioned to y'all briefly this year, but I have not went into full detail about nothing that's been going on. I've just really been grieving. As a 22-year-old, have been grieving as if my mom has passed because she is not in my life. You don't want to be in my life. And I was talking to my friend about this yesterday, and we went to this little lake thing, and we was.
So that's my spiritual sister, Michaela. If you have not checked her out, go to YouTube and type in XO, Michaela. She is on an amazing spiritual journey. She's so young. I cannot wait to see what the future will unfold for her. And I just commend her because with her following, she is leaving tools behind for other women to discover for their own journey. And she always says, don't look at me for the answers. I'm just supposed to inspire you to do the healing and the work. And I do love that. She's just using it as a visual journal. A visual, yeah, I said that word, right? A visual journal or visual diary, I should say. And it's inspiring so many people. She even has a Discord. I love going on there. It's so much encouragement and just women uplifting. These are the next generation of women, of leaders. And they don't even want to bear the title. They just do it. That's even better. because they know Spirit is going to reward them. But based off of what she said, how is your family? If your mother was ill, would you know? If your grandmother was ill, would you know? Is there any women in your family that aren't talking? Is there anyone that you aren't talking to? Could you find a very, very small space in your heart to forgive them? Not to say that it's okay, whatever happened, but for yourself. And let me tell you why. I was really, really heavy in the Christian world. I remember Pastor Joel Osteen came to Jacksonville and he sold that damn stadium out. And one thing I like about Joel Osteen, he gonna preach the word, but he gonna throw in there some psychology and encouragement and affirmations, and you just don't really see that in the spirit world. You're gonna get some in a regular church, black church, you're gonna get some scriptures and that's about it. But in the white churches, I hate to say, but in other churches, they kind of mix things around. And his mother came up there to give her testimony. She had cancer. And she wrote a letter to everybody that she had odds with and asked for forgiveness. When she did that, she was healed. So what I just got, like literally as I push record, as I'm thinking about things, if you are not forgiving people, if you aren't letting things go, they're going to fester in your body. And they're going to turn into diseases. So many different diseases. I think society messes us up sometimes by saying you have XYZ disease because you didn't eat this or eat that. No. What if you have that disease because you're harboring unforgiveness in you? And once you let that go, you'll have room to heal and be free and not have a disease. Like, are we so tied up on the physical element that we aren't focused on the spiritual element? Like, in the Bible, does not it say before you pray, before you ask me for anything, this me is God, before you ask me for anything, did you forgive the other person? Or you up here asking me for favors, but you hating them? And it just reminds me of the story where the man, I could have a whole ghetto church, y'all. The man, he owed money. And the collector came to him and was like, I'm going to put you in jail. You owe me this money. He was like, please, forgive me. I'll pay you back when I can. He said, all right, I forgive you. You know, pay me the money when you can. Probably 2 seconds later, this is my version. He turned around and see the man jack somebody up. Say, you owe me some money. I'm going to put you in jail. I'm a kid. I'm hurt your family. Whatever. Give me this money. And he just got forgiven a second ago. So the man came back to him and was like, okay, so now you owe me again, XYZ, because I literally just forgave you and you couldn't extend that same grace and mercy to someone else. Now, to me, in my spiritual eyes now, God can't give it to us straight because we can't accept it. So he literally made up a parable and a story to tell us about ourselves. I literally forgive you every day for your fuck-ups. But there's people around you that you refuse to forgive, but yet you come to me and ask for things? Like, how dare you? So that's just my interpretation of where I am on my journey. So whatever illnesses you have, like, write letters of forgiveness. Sometimes you don't need to talk to these people because I ain't no telling what doors that will open. But if you feel led, follow your intuition, go to them in person. Or I literally read a book. I already did this. I read a book and it was like, it gives me a task to do each week, and I can't move to the next chapter until I finish. And the chapter that I'm stuck on right now is don't have your phone, don't have TV, don't have nothing, and just sit in silence for 7 days. And I just haven't even done an hour yet. So that's the chapter that I'm on. But it was like, send a letter or forgiveness to everybody. And I did one person because he always, you hurt me. This is what you did. And I'd be like, this nigga. Now, granted, he do tell me what I do wrong so that I can give the apology. But I'm like, you hurt me all the fucking time. Do you see me coming? You saying, oh my God, you hurt me. Like, hello, 9 times out of 10, you know when you hurt somebody. It's like he gonna demand his apology, but not dish it out. That just irks my nerves. But anyways, and I don't have a problem with saying it. My mom made us apologize so much. I'm sorry. What else? You want a hug? Da-da-da. Like, we had to hug. We used to have to stand in a shirt together. We used to kiss each other on the cheek. Like, okay. That means nothing to me. You want your apology? Like, it's just not that it means nothing to me, but okay, you're hurt. This will make you feel better. Let's do it. But so when I think about not forgiving people, and it can turn into different diseases in your body. So I did that exercise. I was gonna call everybody, but I was like, hell nah. Some shit need to stay where it's at. So I wrote letters. Oh no, I didn't even write letters. I think I lit a fire or something. How did I do this? Oh yeah, I lit my candle. Was it a candle? How did I do this? I think I just said a prayer. Was I outside? I think I was out. Oh yeah, I was outside. I wrote down everybody's name and I just closed my eyes and I said the forgiveness. I forgive you. I apologize for whatever I did. I forgive you. And I said, let the wind take this to you. Let the ethers take this to you. You are free. I forgive you. I wish love and blessings and happiness on you. May good things come to you. I am free. You are free. And I just said it to the ether because another thing I realized that nothing can exist outside of God. Whether it's a tree, your car, your toolbox. So I was talking to my sister. There was a cartoon growing up. I think it was Pee Wee Herman where everything had eyes. Like everything was alive. And although that was a child story, it's true. Like your car is a sentient being. Those molecules break down into other molecules, which they would not exist without God. So everything doesn't act the same. Everything doesn't eat, procreate, Like there's different forms of life. But the fact that it exists, baby, it's alive. Prime example, your house could be made of wood. Was that not a tree? Did it die because you cut it and put it in a house? No, if it was dead, your house would not be standing. It would be rotted and dead, right? So the fact that it is still alive, in good condition, exactly how it's supposed to be, is still alive to me. So I said all of that to say, just whoever you are at odds with, just however you want to do it. You could write, you could burn it, you can call them, y'all can meet up and do it face to face. You could send it through the wind, through the ethers like I did. Because I also realized that some people was getting hurt by that. They would go to somebody and apologize, and that person would be like, I don't forgive you, whatever, and it caused more damage than good. So before I hurt me, I'm going to give this to God, and God going to give it to you when it's time. You might not be at a place for forgiveness. So whenever it's time, those words going to come in your ear and your heart, and, whatever. So I just gave it to God and let God do it. But I did speak it to the wind and from my heart. So if you are battling whatever type of illness, it's forgiveness. It all stems back to trauma and forgiveness. And the first person you have to forgive is yourself. So what are you not forgiving yourself for? Like, I literally had to sit down and do that too. Like, oh my God, I didn't forgive my own self. I'm around here forgiving everybody else. Like, it literally starts with you. So I think forgiving yourself, forgiving others, and then doing the work. So what vitamins do you need to take? For me, on my personal journey, oh my God, I literally got a glass bowl and I put rose quartz crystals around it with flowers. And this is going to be my yoni steam bowl. I am going to get my sister, she does the cricket thing. I'm going to get her to do some affirmations, and I'm going to put them around the bowl because Dr. Emoto said water is alive and it carries a message. So I wanted to say like healing and mother and just all kind of good yoni affirmations. And on the bottom, I want to put a Reiki sigil, not inside, but on the bottom. So when the water touches it, it's absorbing that Reiki. And baby, I have never seen anybody make their own personal yoni steam bowl. So I already put my intention on it. I'm going to be putting live words on it. I'm going to be putting symbol on it. That's just magnifying the power that's already in the herbs to me. And those are the type of things that I want to put on my store. So Love Me is going to be a self-love store, a self-growth, maybe just for women. And then what other tabs birth from that? Probably be for the kids and other stuff like that. But I'm going to start with self-love. So I'm excited for that. But yeah, that literally just came to me. Like, I remember going, like, years ago, I went to this. I haven't been to church in maybe 7 years, y'all. But I would do stuff like Joel Osteen coming, I'm going. And I remember I went and I was by myself. I'm about to cry. Oh my God. I was by myself, and before I walked in there, oh my God. Before I walked in there, I was like, Lord, please don't let me sit by myself. I do not want to sit by myself because I don't really do a lot of things by myself. That's why I'm excited that right now I am doing a lot of things by myself. I literally went and got something to eat by myself. I went to the movies by myself. Like, codependent. Didn't even know that I'm always like codependent on someone. So maybe that's why I would stay in relationships, just because I'm like codependent on it. So just like being by myself and making decisions, not calling her and saying this was going on, her giving me the answer, or, just trying to like be my own best friend, basically. So anyways, I was like, Lord, please don't let me sit by myself. And this lady, Spanish lady, she said, do you mind if I sit by you? And I was like, no, my God. I asked God to like let somebody sit by me because I didn't want to sit by myself. And when I looked up in front of me, behind me, to the left and to the right, it was just us. It was us. Probably got cheap seats, but it was just us. And she was telling me how she just got a divorce and da-da-da-da. And it's just like, whatever I was going through, like, girl, this lady's going through a whole damn divorce. You sad because you didn't get married, but this lady got a whole damn divorce. So God be sending me little messages like that too. Like, just because you get married, it could be other shit that you still got to go through. Marriage is not it. So I'm learning that too. Like, every time I turn around, like, marriage is not the answer. People still get divorces and they go through different stuff or whatever. But I know what it is. Just I have so much love that I want to give. I'm just going to focus on giving it to the people around me. But I specifically want to give it to my man and my kids. It's so frustrating, but okay. Anyway, so I do remember that. Oh, gosh, I remember that. So anyways, fast forward to now. I remember a message about Joel Osteen's mom asking for forgiveness and healing herself of cancer. Like, for real. Speaking of cancer, there's a book called Quantum Healing. I just got it from my mom. It talks about doctors telling people that they have different diagnoses. And the people that listen to the diagnosis and accept it, they stay sick. But the people that say, I hear you, doctor, but I don't accept this. I'm going to do what it takes to heal myself. That will, that faith, that strength. Like, your body's going to listen to you. If you say, oh, body, we've been defeated, it's going to follow your command. You're the captain. If you say, I heard what the doctor say, but we got some work to do, body, we're not going to accept this. One of the downloads I got this morning was, after I finish my affirmations, I'm going to start doing prayers on my YouTube. And I want to do prayers for like each of the body systems, each of the body parts, your chakras. Like, it just came to me and I want to do it. And one of them is going to be like, thank you, red blood cells, for, doing what you're supposed to do. Thank you for killer T cells. Thank you for white blood cells. Like, we do so much in a day, but do you ever just say thank you, heart, for pumping? God darn. Thank you, kidneys, for cleansing out the toxins, and I'm about to go turn up all weekend. Thank you, lungs, for breathing and not smoke 3 cigs a day, or maybe a whole pack. Do you ever just talk to yourself and say thank you, body? And I think sometimes when we die, our body is like a big F you. I've been loving you this whole time. Clearing out your toxins, beaten to death, just like, I'm working for you. You never say thank you or I love you or nothing. Like, I'm out. Like, your organs tell God I'm out. And you die. Like, appreciate your body. I haven't been eating what I'm supposed to do. Let me do a charcoal cleanse. Or, let me go work out. Let me walk around this track. Muscles. I don't work out, but let me try to do something for you. Or let me do some vitamins, or just try to help. I mean, it does everything. But how can you help? How can you help your body to do what it already do? How can you help your body be more successful? Because it's amazing. Our bodies are phenomenal. Your heart, you do not give your heart a command. You don't even think about it. It's doing what it needs to do. That is a system. Just think about it for a moment. Something is allowing that to run, right? And you're going to let some doctor sit in front of you and tell you that you are malfunctioning? No. The problem is you believe negative words. The Bible already says our tongue speaks life and death. So I would tell that doctor, write it down. Don't speak no death over me. Write it down. I hear you. Do your paperwork. Don't even breathe those words my way. And then speak healing to yourself. I hear the message, but we're going to stand on the word of God. If you're Christian or whatever, universe, Holy Spirit, calling your ancestors, whatever your healing is. And now it's time to get to work. What books do you need to get? What YouTube do you need to see? I learned about over 77 healing modalities. And I'm going to kid you not. If I wasn't on a fertility journey, I probably wouldn't be researching healing nothing. So perhaps I had to go down this path to learn. Sometimes it's like that. Sometimes it's not supposed to take you out. Cancer wasn't supposed to take you out. It's just supposed to scare you. It's supposed to put you on a road of health that you could end up healing so many other people. But you took it as defeat. Do you honestly think? Let's think about kids for a moment. Because if God is our parent, it's the same thing. I remember me and my sister could not swim. You know what our dad did? He picked us up and threw us in the water. Do you think he wanted us to drown and die? No. He wanted us to be so scared that we continue to kick our arms and feet no matter how tired we are so we can get to the ledge. That could be what that disease is. So you don't want to learn about healing and different stuff? Let me put something on your path that's going to get you over here, because I know you hard-headed. This is the only thing that's going to work for you. And you took it as defeat. You're supposed to overcome. You're supposed to conquer. I am a conqueror. It's like we have to go back to basics. Like we go to Bible school and we learn all this stuff, or, we read these books and we really know the answers, but it's like we live life and we start to forget. And then if you do end up going, it was your time, baby. And sometimes when we do die, guess what? It's to wake somebody else up. Every time you go to a funeral, what the person say? Come on, give your life to the Lord. And you end up changing someone's life. Like you literally had to go to wake someone else up. Sometimes it worked like that too. But just make sure, you forgive everybody so that if it is your time to go, you can go with a clean slate. But I honestly feel like it's just a test. Like Dr. Sebi cured people from everything. If you go look up holistic doctors, they literally are hunted and killed. When they come up with a healing modality and put it out there, they are threatened with fines and taxes and stuff. And then if that doesn't stop them, they mysteriously die from the same shit that they be healing. Like, explain that. Please explain that. It makes no sense to me. You mean tell me I heal all diseases and I end up dying of a disease? How, Sway? How? It just makes no sense. So the government knows they make so much money from Big Pharma. So many generations are hooked on it. You try to take the pills away from them, they gonna die. Give them their damn pills. But the Bible even says, my people perish for lack of knowledge. And also fruit will be your meat and also your medicine. So that was a word for somebody. But what did you think about Exo Michaela? And even on her own journey, she's even helping her mom. This is another thing. Some kids, you are the mom. I hate to say it. Your mom had you, but baby, you're the mom. She's literally telling her mom, please love yourself so that you can love me better. Should that be the other way around? Shouldn't the mama be saying, baby, love yourself? So, but God knows what to put on everybody. He knew that Michaela could handle being her mother's mother. Everybody can't handle that. I needed my mom to be a mom, okay? I needed to be a baby this life around. So my mom is a mom. But she was strong enough to be able to, she's mothering my grandmother right now. So whether she knows it or not, she's strong enough to do that. And then I just always remember, my favorite scripture in the whole entire Bible is God will not put more on you than you can bear. And it sounds that when you're going through it, that shit it don't add up, right? You definitely put more on me than I can bear. I'm struggling, I'm drowning, hello. But it's true. It's like, I made you. I know what you're made of. I need you to know what you're made of. Did I not say you are more than a conqueror? Then I'm going to need you to conquer this. So sometimes it's like, sometimes stuff is put in your way like that to build you. Let's say you're being picked on. This person keep picking on you. This person keep picking on you. They may beat you up. You tell your mom, you tell your sisters what they're going to say. Go on back to that bus stop and beat them up. And don't come home unless you win. When you do that, won't nobody mess with you no more. Just like what the girl said, right? in the review with Black mothers and black daughters. So you around here thinking, woe is me, I can't heal myself. And God is like, yes, you can. I put everything in you for this battle. I just need you to remember or dig deep or listen to the angels that I send your way, because you're not listening. It could be a song. It could be a movie. It could be a book. It could be a person. It could be a stranger. It could be a damn bird. That's why I be learning my numbers. I be learning my animals, because God speaks in everything. The question is, how many languages do you speak? I only speak English, but I also speak numbers. I speak animals, frequencies, silent cues. Like, I got a couple of languages on my belt, but the only one they mention on paper is like English, Spanish, and French and stuff. But so that was Michaela. So shout out to my little spiritual sis Michaela. I'm just so proud of her on her journey. She's gonna adopt a baby Asian girl one day, and she's just gonna be an amazing mom. So shout out to this younger generation, because I'm in my 30s, like finally dealing with trauma and stuff. Because, you know, life be lifing. You know, they got you worrying about bills and stuff. And I don't know, just you don't think about healing until you have to. Like, I just hit a fork in the road where it's like, you got to heal. You gonna heal or die. Pick one. And I had to heal. So she's like so young. Like I said, in my 20s, what was I doing? Foam fucking parties. Smoking and stuff. Like, who knows? Like, I definitely wasn't sitting down. Like, she meditates. She does yoga. She journals. She talks to God. She talks to the trees. Like, I was not there in my damn 20s. So by the time she teach her daughter is going to be doing that at a young age. Speaking of young age, if you go on Hulu, there's this Chinese show where 2-year-old, 3-year-old, 4-year-olds are going on errands. They give them money. They give them water. They give them whatever they need to carry. And they send them miles to the store to get Pampers for their little sister, to, you know, go to the laundromat, to fix their daddy's watch. The point is, they are walking in this big ass world by themselves. And they got them kids. Now, I was saying, I'm so like embarrassed. Like, imagine where you would be if you've been running errands since 2. We run errands at what, 16, 18? What? That's how many years we're behind. So now when I see, you know, they open up stores and stuff, they've been had that work ethic. They've been doing it since 2. And yeah, they can come over here and pop up shop and work because they were bred that way. So I know it's going to come to America. I'm just excited to see the American version, and I want to send that to my sister them. And I'm going to say, send my nieces and nephews on errands. You know, we can go in the store and stand at the front, but send them on errand. But these kids will go by themselves. Like, mom would say bye at the damn door. Kid would walk jungle, woods, trail, wherever, do their errand and come back and be happy. And some of them were sad, like if they forgot where to go or that they couldn't do it. They were sad that they couldn't help their parents. 2. 1, 2, 2. Not 12, 2. I was just so shocked. I saw 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds. I was like, wow. Like, and I granted, most of them stayed in villages, so that made it a little better. But one of those stayed in the city. And I was just like, we couldn't even do that in America, because would older people really help a 2-year-old shop? Or they would be like nonchalant, they were just so caring and helpful. Like, what do you need? Where do you need to go? Like, everybody, it's really a village over there. I think we're missing a village here. Not only that, we got predators running around chasing people. I've been looking at America most moments since I was a little girl, so we know that they be stealing people, taking their organs and killing them. So I don't know how successful we would be with that show here, but just the fact of teaching kids that young responsibility just threw me for a loop. So I just wanted to throw that in there. So there was one more point of view about women that I wanted you to hear, and this is from the podcast that I absolutely love called the Know For Sure Podcast with B. Simone and Megan Brooks. Oh, I called the girl Ashley on my last episode. I am so sorry. I think it's Megan Brooks. Who is Ashley, Lord bless her? But I'm going to let you hear this clip, and then I'm going to come back with some questions, and we will wrap it up. One moment.
And immediately
threw up. But it's like, what? But that's on a more surface scale than what you were talking about. But I'm saying, like,
or I won't say names, but like, why are you intentionally having children with a nigga that cheats, that hurts you? Now, I'm not even gonna say cheats, because if that's y'all's business, whatever. But somebody who embarrasses you and hurts you, why are you having a human with them? And like, intentionally having one, not like, oh, slipped on a dick. And
we're planning it.
You're intentionally bringing in a life into this world.
But like what you said, people use child as pawns now. It's a
look. It's for a look. It's an aesthetic.
That's sick.
And it's sad. That's a life.
That's sad.
That's so a life. Sad. And it goes back to what my friend Lene was saying. She was like, we ain't never had a choice. Since conception, we ain't never had a choice. Ever. We've never got to choose, really.
That's crazy. Damn, that's crazy.
Like, how fucked up is that you come into the world because your mom wanted to look.
To be petty. Or wanted to
you wanted to be petty.
Bet. I'm gonna have this nigga baby.
I'm gonna have it. Now I'm gonna have it.
Bet.
I know I took all those Plan Bs and I did all those abortions before, but I'm gonna have this baby just to prove a point.
Or if I get pregnant, he'll stay with me. Bet.
Or trapping niggas.
That's sick.
That is sick.
And I know you understand it on a deeper level because you're a mom.
Yes,
I can't even fathom it on that level. I'm looking at the effects of some of my mistakes on my children. I'm looking at the consequences of some of my sins on my children.
Wow. So yes, that is a thing.
Wow.
Y'all just out here just fucking having children and not thinking about the life of that child.
Yeah. No.
That is so, it burns me up to no extent. It makes me so mad.
I don't think they're on that mental, spiritual.
Of course not.
They're not on that capacity
But
yet.
think about it.
Yeah.
Think about how crazy that is.
Shit. Yeah.
That people are literally having children for a vibe, for a aesthetic, for an accessory, just to say, oh, look, you can marry me because I'm a good mom.
Yep.
Are you?
Yep. That's crazy.
Are you really investing into that child? I have real conversations with my children, hard ones. I ask them, am I a good mom? What can I do better? What do you need from me? Because it changes.
I love that. I didn't have conversations
I didn't either. And my mom's a great mom, but I didn't have those conversations like that.
It's unacceptable to me.
But I feel like we are just being frivolous with our decisions.
Yeah.
Everybody wants, oh, it's my choice, it's my right. But are you being responsible with that?
No.
That's why choices get taken away from people.
Right.
Because a lot of y'all niggas ain't thinking about your choices.
Right.
You just out here not thinking about the effects and the consequences of those choices. And guess what? Your choices and your decisions don't just affect you.
It affects everybody.
It affects everyone. Everyone, not just the circumference of what you, everyone.
Because it trickles
down into
the next person.
Everyone.
It's crazy.
Okay, example. Say I'm a fucked up mom. I abuse my children. I got an alcohol problem, right? Now my children, all they do is see all this dysfunction. I'm drinking, My children see that, they grow up, they pick up that habit. Right? But when I drank at home. But because my children were in the home, all they saw was me drinking. They were not saying, oh, she only drank at home. They just see me drinking, right?
Yeah.
So one of my children now goes and drinks. And they develop that habit, but now they're drinking out. They get drunk. They drive. They hit somebody and kill somebody. Right? Now that has affected
a whole
set of different people.
Everything is attached.
And then it just keeps going. Every choice
affects the world.
Every choice.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Every choice.
That's crazy.
So yeah, I say the best for last. Megan plays no games. Megan plays no games. Megan does not play. She definitely has a call on her life. She's gonna wake up a lot of women. I don't know what her sign is, but she be acting like a Libra judge, baby. She is here to render judgment in a way that gets people. Like, she stirs the pot, she starts those conversations, she stirs up that conviction for people to change. But what do you think about what she said? Now, she's a mom. I try not to talk about a role I'm not in, because I have no idea. I have no fucking idea. I have no idea. You have to walk certain paths before you give an opinion from the inside out. And I'm just on the outside looking in. But she is a mom, and she even saying the same thing. So if you haven't checked out the podcast, I love it, the Know For Sure podcast. The episode that made me cry, they had a sexologist on there, and she was talking about trauma. See how my stuff be linking up? I'm already on a trauma journey. She was talking about sexual trauma and how you have to heal, and how it leads to, you know, different relationship choices and XYZ. And a lot of this shit starts in the family, y'all. We got to heal ourselves, which will heal our families, which will heal the world. We traumatized ourselves. That trauma ends. We end up traumatizing our family, and then we traumatize the world. That's the cycle. You fucked up. You around here messing with people in your little kids in the family. They grow up and be dysfunctional. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Heal the fuck. So yeah, that was it for episode 3. I know this was long-winded, y'all. It's been a long time since I've been on here. I have build up. But I am working on the robots. I need to, let me sit down and write that one out, and it'll be long-winded too. And then I have my Oprah podcast, and then who knows what else the universe will bring. I don't know, actually I do have some other podcasts lined up, but hopefully I can do a podcast on real estate agent tips. It's this girl on Etsy. She sells real estate templates, so I can't wait to buy those. And I'm deciding, do I want to get back on social media, or do I just want to hand out cards? It's like, I've been doing so good off of social media. I don't want to get on there for people to link up. The only person you need to be linking up with is La Rosa Realty and tell them I referred you. But because social media is what? To be social. And I want to stick to what stay on the path that I'm on. But I know that commission will come. Universe already showed me how commission works with different jobs that I've had, even being the sales manager with Credit Repair, and how easy it was to get those people to sign up. But since I wasn't at the top, I was getting a piece of the commission. But as a real estate referral agent, I'm going to be getting a piece of the realtor commission, and them checks be fat. So I'm excited to see that and go down that journey. So I'll keep updating you guys on that. What didn't I say? What didn't I update you guys on? Oh, let me talk about taxes. So when I left the IRS, because although I made a lot of money, they was taking a lot of taxes out, and it was hard to live on my own with the choices I made, places I want to live and stuff like that. Travel and shopping and just financial choices that I was making. But it's still hard. I don't care who you are. It's hard with one income. The fuck, no assistance, no food stamps, all of that. So but they taxed the shit. They was taking like $600 out of each check. That's $1,200 I could use for the month. The fuck. Anyways, so this girl, she was like, I could do your taxes. Because I never added any business expenses. So she added business expenses to help my balance go down. And when I turned it in, the compliance, guys started questioning me, and I'm like, the fuck. So I ended up amending the returns to put it back, to put the balances back, to do a payment plan. But what made me mad is there was a COVID. I'm there, so I can see the scam. Not even scams, because if rules are made to be broken and you know the rules, are you really breaking the rules, or are you just following the rules that have been implemented? I feel like the rules were made for the crooks, and only the crooks know how to do it. So whatever, it's a whole nother podcast, because we shouldn't be paying taxes in the first place. So that's where my first problem is. But I saw somebody make was it billion? I think it was $1 billion. I think this was the biggest account I ever saw, and they paid $6,000 in taxes. And it made me mad, because it was like, I look at these numbers every day. If you making 6 figures, you paying $25K every 6 figures, and it may go up, but I know for sure 6 figures is $25K. So how the hell you only paying $6,000? The fuck? And I need all my pennies to live and eat and put gas in the car to get to this bitch. And I don't know, it just made me furious. So my mom, she was just telling me, like, you know, they pay to be able to do that. Like, they pay their accountants to know those rules and to funnel the money to their friends and XYZ to make sure all their paperwork line up. So that's just the game that they play. And she was like, you don't want to be able to sleep at night, you know, and not be looking over your shoulder, XYZ. And I get it, but I still hate the system. I guess I'm just a rebel. The last thing I saw was with this COVID relief program. Let me pull it up, because, baby, I still got it. Still got it. Because I know a lot of y'all got a fat ass check, and I couldn't do it because they was watching my damn tax returns just like everybody else could do it. But the moment I do it, I always get caught. I hate that. Like, God, all your turn down here fucking up. Don't be watching me, shit. Can I breathe? Can I get a... When I tell you the numbers of these damn refunds, and some people had not filed, it's like, how you go from not filing to this much? Wait till I give you these numbers. You're going to be like, what the fuck? You're going to be trying to redo your damn taxes. And I ain't mad at you. I just can't fucking do it. Hold on. Because I know I ain't delete that shit. 30. Or did I? Let me look one more time. Ideas, yoni, babies, ever rise, co-creator parents, affirmation, cup, jewelry, books, alphabet. Here you go. It was on their Schedule 3. These are 3 refunds that I recorded. It was the Schedule 3. I think it was another form that they had, line 13B and 13H, right? The first refund was $29,620. I fucking kid you not. I never seen, and these people didn't even have kids. It was all because of the COVID refund thing. The next person, $31,626. And the last person, $31,798. Now, I know a lot of people that I know did it. I was just upset because, do you know what I could be doing with $31,000 right now? More than enough for a down payment on a damn house. Or a dent in my student loans. It's like the money's going to be going back to them, so don't worry about me getting it. I'm going to send it back. You're going to get it right back. But I'm pretty sure if I try to do a Schedule 3 with 13B and 13H, they're going to pull my shit. And it just made me mad. I was like, okay, I'm out. I don't agree with taxes. I don't agree. Like, some people, when I left, were still waiting for their refund, getting evicted, kids needing money. And I'm up here watching the news where we giving grant money to Ukraine. They just got approved for billions of dollars to for the technology internally. But these people calling this line crying every day about their damn money, and they have every right to do so. But what I'm not going to do is absorb your karma. So I had to get out of there. And it was just like a lot. So universe was like, you just do the right thing. Pay Caesar what's his. I'm going to do my little payment plan and be done with it. But I was like, damn. I would have loved to have a $31,000 refund. And I know a lot of people that I know got it. Everybody in the hood know about this Schedule 3, 13B, and 13H. But the gag is, if they come back and say y'all have to pay, or if in the background they looking for scam, a lot of people, because it's only so much money that you can get before it becomes like a felony or a crime. So, maybe I should be thankful that I wasn't able to do it, because it could have ended up being bad in the future. Like, who knows? But all I know is it seems like I'm making more money now, making less money than I was making, but only because they took out so much. So yeah, I started a new job. I'm with insurance. It seems super easy, but the equipment is messing up and the trainer is like all over the place. So that's frustrating me. But once I'm on my own, I'll see how it goes. And if it doesn't fit, it doesn't fit, because I really don't want to be on the phone. But I did get another phone job, so maybe that was a test and I didn't pass, and me leaving would be showing that I'm not going to do something I don't want to do. So we'll see. And what else? Oh, my mom was telling me that tiny houses got approved. I'm like, I'm going to put a tiny house in the backyard. Hello, this is Misha's spot. I do want a house, a condo, and a trailer, but I don't want the stress. I want to be able to do it successfully without the stress. Like, I don't know. I want to be able to eat dinner and pay the mortgage. You feel me? I don't want to have to do overtime to survive, because I feel like sometimes I had to do overtime just to make ends meet. I'm telling you, single life is hard. And guess what? My brother is a mailman. He about to make 6 figures already. Do you see what month we're in? But when I tell you he does 16-hour shift, 13-hour shift, 12-hour shift, I think men are built a little different. Because, baby, I can't even get my damn 8 hours done. Like, I'm want to call in for a damn mental day, but I'm trying to do my 90 days and be good. But, yeah, that's what's going up on my end. I still been home, solo dolo, just growing, reading, and growing. I've been trying to take myself out to little dinner dates. So when I do print out my cards, I'll be able to give them to the waiters and stuff. Like, I'm going to be passing my cards around, you hear me? And, yeah, I'm just waiting to, just living each day, learning my messages, decoding my messages, and I can't wait to see what the future unfolds. I can't wait to go to Georgia with my sister. I'm actually taking my nieces out on a date this weekend. We want to go to a park, or I was discussing things that they wanted to do, and they were thinking a park. I was like, what about the movies? What about bowling? So I'm going to see what they want to do and just start having like auntie niece dates. Because I always said, I want to go on dates. Like, I don't have to wait for a guy to go on a date. I could take myself on a date, or I can take, my friends and loved ones on dates. So I'm going to start doing that. And, just not putting a lot of things on hold just because I don't have it. And I felt like that with a house too. Like, I don't want a house because it's going to be like, hello, I'm home, nobody. But if I want a house and nobody's there, oh well, just fill it up with pets and plants. But we'll see. The next thing I need to do is save up for my gun before these laws go into effect. Tell me what they're going to end up doing. I think I'll feel better with a gun and a dog and an alarm system. Because a lot of single moms are by themselves, and they should be more concerned because the kids are in there with them and they live alone. So it's probably something I need to overcome. I probably need to journal and see where that is coming from. Because I've been living alone all this time. Like, why do I feel like this now? But, yeah. Oh, and the best news of all, I signed my paperwork. I think I already said this. I signed my paperwork to be a referral agent. And I can't wait to have my first meeting with my broker just to kind of make sure I have the do's and don'ts and get going. But it is 12:53. I have not ate dinner yet. I missed my full moon experience with Life Force Academy, so I got to catch up on that. And I will see you guys on the next episode. If you listen to all 3 podcasts, thank you so much. I hope you got some messages in here. If not, put it in your toolbox for later, and I will catch you guys on the next episode. Talk to you guys later. Bye. It's 7.9 billion people in this world, yet you met me. And that is not by happen chance. It's a divine meeting, and may we guide each other well. If life is a school, what lesson did you learn today? What class did you take today? Did you pass or fail your test or pop quiz? If so, it's okay. Failing allows you to restudy an area that you're weak in so you can try again better than before and pass with 100%. Keep learning, evolving, and spreading love, and I hope you see the fruits of your labor. Namaste, love-a-stay, and always vibe high, babe. Thanks a million for listening. I hope you have a better than great day. Love you. Talk to you later. Mwah. Bye.